Hello everyone, welcome to our Timeless Sunset Tarot. Now this is a general reading and it is open to all zodiac signs. It is also timeless, so anytime you find yourself watching this video, there might be a message here for you. Now let's try to see what is the main energy at the end of the day. Okay, we have here the Seven of Swords. The first thing that came to me is burying the hatchet or burying the swords. No, so I feel right now the main energy in your vicinity is that of reconciliation. There might have been some conflicts in the past, but whatever it is, it's time for you to bury the sword or to let go of the issues. Oftentimes, at, at the heat of the discussion or at the heat of the issue, it seems that the one that you are fighting for and what the other person is fighting for, it seems so very important at that time. But as you let it go, as time passes, oftentimes you realize that it was not really worth the conflict. It was not really worth the effort. And it could have been more beneficial if dialogue was done. So in a certain sense, this, for some of you, you are in a situation right now wherein you are able to look at the situation in a more objective sense. Time has passed and somehow you realize that it was not really worth the conflict. It could have been handled much better. So somehow this is a moment for you right now. If you resonate with this reading, then maybe the time has come for you to bury the hatchet and to remove all the swords, to try to learn from the experience, try to get the lessons from the experience and to move on. It's every experience is a learning process, and once the experience has passed, we cannot undo it anymore. It's part already of our life's history. Now it depends on us whether that life experience will give you anxiety, or you can look at it in a proactive way. You try to accept it first as part of your life history, and then you try to see what lessons can I learn from it, and how can I move forward from it. How can I begin again? Beginning again is a part of nature's process. You know, when you look at nature, uh, sometimes there are typhoons or calamities that happen, but after that, new life begins. When it rains, sometimes it pours, but afterwards, you start to see new plants growing. You start to hear birds singing, and you start to see light coming back into the sky. So in a certain sense, that is the energy that is coming to me right now. The knowledge that you have gained from this experience will allow you to avoid future conflicts, and will allow you to handle similar situations in a more mature way. Now let's try to see how this will further unfold. New insights are coming, new lessons. I think whatever this thing had happened, you will receive assistance also from the divine. So the conflict is finished, but the healing process or the recovery is an important aftermath. Okay, so there will be for some of you, there might be a need for healing. There might be a need for rebuilding, whether it be in the relationship that was broken or a healing of whatever hurts might have been done there. But the beautiful thing about it is we have here the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is like help is on the way. Okay, Help is on the way. You see all these fiery ones coming from the sky. It's as if the universe is coming to the rescue to help you solve the situation. Now, what is the advice of the universe for us? Yeah, very nice. We have here the Five of Swords. When you look at the Five of Swords, no, there are three people here who are responding in different ways uh, towards the incident. The one in the foreground, the person who won, uh, somehow looks at the people who are walking away. The people who are walking away are the ones who have lost. Now, somehow this card challenges us. Are we going to look at the other people in a sort of positive way, wherein you you look at those who were not, for example, if it was a conflict and you are in the winning end, will you look with compassion on the people who did not win? Okay. Or will you look at them with that sense of I won, or you know how it is, that sense of pride, wherein uh, compassion goes out of the window. Okay, so I think the challenge here is, yes, you might have won, but the invitation to be humble, the invitation to be compassionate also to those who were on the losing end. Maybe that is the challenge for the one on the foreground. For those who have lost, there are two possible things that you can respond to, which is shown in the card. One in the distance was in despair. Maybe the one that the person lost was really very important to that person. Now, for those who have won, if you are in the winning end, maybe you need to be less overbearing on those who have lost and look with charity, especially to those who are in despair. If you are in the losing end, then the challenge for you is, instead of being in despair, to take the energy of the one who is in the middle ground, okay, the one there who is just walking away, to consider it as it's already water under the bridge and it's time to move on. Just like the person who is somewhere in the middle, after, from a little distant only from the winner, he just walks away. He says, okay, it's just part of life. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And you just walk away. You take with you your jacket, the one that the person puts on his shoulder. It's like you take with you the lessons that you have learned, and then you move on. I feel that the invitation is for you to take that kind of energy, to just accept it's water under the bridge, and it's time for you to move on. So somehow these dynamics are coming to the fore with these cards. You are if you are resonating with this one, you seem to be in the aftermath of a conflict. Now, I feel that there is a need for generosity, understanding, compassion. There's a need also for being proactive, knowing that it's not the end of the world, to not despair, but to take the lessons from it and move on, and open yourself to new possibilities. So this is what we have for our Sunset Tarot. Let us now go to Insights at Twilight. For our Insights at Twilight, the message comes from Marilyn Monroe, and the message is: imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it is better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. I like the message because it shows proactivity. It shows wisdom. You realize that all our scars in life tells a beautiful story. There is beauty in scars. There is beauty in having undergone challenges in life. If we try to relate it to our tarot reading, it very much supports the need to look at failures or missed successes, okay, in a positive light. To look at them as opportunities to grow, opportunities to learn, opportunities to become stronger, and opportunities to look at life in a different angle. Makes us also experts in life experiences. The lessons that we learn from the challenges that we have encountered, whether we were able to succeed in them or we failed in them, the lessons we have learned can be shared to other people in the future. Your experience somehow makes you already a potential teacher or a potential guide for others who might undergo the same experiences that you have. It also teaches us to be compassionate. Oftentimes, because of the experience, painful as they may sometimes be, we learn to care more for other people because we understand what they are undergoing. Those who are undergoing a similar experience to what we have undergone, we somehow are able to look at them with compassion. We understand how they feel, and they find consolation in our presence, especially when we are in that energy of being understanding, that energy of patiently listening, that energy of just being there, even if we cannot do anything to solve the problem. Just the mere companionship, the mere presence makes a big difference. And all of this capacity, all of these things that you are able to do comes from experience, comes from sometimes from surviving whatever challenge you might have undergone in the past. And you learn to be less demanding of yourself and less demanding of other people because you have undergone a lot of challenges or painful experiences in the past. You are less demanding of perfection. What you would oftentimes promote, if you are a person who has experienced a lot of things in life, oftentimes you realize that it's not perfection that is important. It's giving your best, striving for excellence. The result will depend on how we handle the situation. And I think the important thing there is the journey. When you have something to do, you give it your best. If you give it your best, then you increase the likelihood that you will reach success. But even if you do not succeed, the important thing is you gave it your best. So imperfection is beauty. There's beauty in it, and it tells a lot of stories. And madness is genius. The more experiences in life that we have, that sometimes we succeed and sometimes we do not have, it gives us also this kind of energy where you are not afraid to experiment. You are not afraid to commit mistakes. And some people will say, this is madness. But actually it is genius, because you are able to have that kind of energy wherein you are not afraid to experiment. You're not afraid to try all possibilities. And you're not afraid to and you are humble enough to say, okay, I made a mistake, I begin again. Somehow madness is flexibility. Madness is resourcefulness, creativity. So imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it is better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. There is a certain joy of being among people who are inclusive, less judgmental, less judgmental, humble enough to just enjoy life and not be afraid to commit mistakes. Those who find humor in the experience. And I feel that somehow this Insights at Twilight is inviting us to slowly develop that kind of energy in our life. People with this kind of energy are people who draw people closer to them. We like being among people who are like this. With them, we feel relaxed. With them, we are not afraid to commit mistakes. With them, we find hope even after the storm. With them, it is easier to find the rainbow after the rain. And so the invitation for us is to have that same energy. Well, that's it for today. I hope you were able to gain some insights and some inspirations from our reading. Thank you for the likes and comments you've given to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. I hope to see you again next time. Until that moment, may God continue to bless your ways.